Damascus old city has a very, very diverse religion. You will see churches next to the mosque, and you will see different churches, for example, Catholic, Orthodox, Armenian. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am in Damascus, the capital of Syria, and right now I am in Old City. It's a very, very lovely city, and this city has a recorded urban history of more than 5,000 years. It's truly one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Merhaba. Seems they are splitting the bread and then put them into separate bags. Why are they doing this?
Because it's fresh, very hot. So they need to open it unless if it's cold while it's still like with we say like to get the air go through. Yeah, it will be stick like these two sides will be stick to each other.
Otherwise it will stick together.
Yes.
Mas, shukran.
Welcome.
Another one. Two. Yeah, take it. Thanks. That gentleman also gave me this. 2 pieces of chocolate. Thanks. Shukran. They just offered us a piece of bread.
Belash, no money.
The Arabic bread is coming out from the oven, and every piece is so puffed up. It's like a small kilo. Thanks. Shukran. And there on the top, the bread is dropping out. It's so fluffy.
So slim and thin also.
With that piece of bread in my mouth, I'll start the story. As one of the oldest cities on earth, it's no exaggeration. Damascus is the most fascinating old city I've visited in years. It has been continuously inhabited for over 4,500 years and has served as capital for more than 3,000 years. Even today, it feels like a living museum. Every corner holds history in motion. In the old city, there is a perfectly straight street, known as Straight Street. And quietly, this is where the story of the city begins. The eastern gate dates back to the Roman time. Behind the gate, you'll see layers of Byzantine and later Islamic architecture. In the days of the Silk Road, caravans would enter through here, moving into a dense network of souks.
In the old days, yes, rooms for staying for the traders when they come here. So they will put their goods or products here, and then they go to sleep or overnight in the second floor.
And since Damascus is very, very hot in summer, you know, they have this big dome on the top so that the natural light can go through. And meanwhile, it kind of provides shade. And you can even walk through this. I honestly don't know what it looks like. Maybe it goes to a different place. Maybe it ends here. Oh, wow. Salam. So this is the old restaurant inside the caravanserai where you can get a tea. Merhaba. Morning. And I want to show you the door.
Sorry? This one
Yes. Is this for the kid?
for the kids.
For the small.
bit.
So there is this door knock. You see, it's a piece of metal, but here there is one for the kid. It's such an interesting design.
Because the boys,
Uh,
yes, small one, they knock and
Yeah.
run.
they play with it.
Yes,
Yeah. Thanks.
you're welcome.
So look at this one. This is a more simplified version. This is another different door lock.
You can come, sir. Come.
Can I? Oh wow. So this is one of the oldest.
1,000 years, this one.
Is it for men or for women?
For man, for women in the morning. And
Ah.
you need special. For man every time.
For men all the time. Okay.
Go to inside.
Thanks. Wow, it's an old hammam. Hello. Now they're cleaning the place. There are several hammams in Old City and they are still operating. So in the middle there is a fountain and then people can, after taking a bath, so the bath is inside. After taking a bath, they can just relax here and smoke some shisha. So he told me I can go inside because now apparently no one is taking a bath right now. Wow. Oh, it's actually very hot inside, steamy.
Visit Guangzhou, Shantung,
Guangzhou, Shanghai, Yiwu,
Shanghai. No, I go to Shenzhen.
Shenzhen. To travel or for business?
I buy some shoes.
Ah, yes, it's very good in China. Yeah.
You can see inside.
Can I go? Thanks. Oh wow, it's so steamy.
You can see this man taking shower. That's all like a sea.
Ah,
You can take photo.
can I take a photo? Yeah.
He say okay, he happy. No?
So the guy is now taking a shower. Wow. Wow.
Beyond the hammams, the old city is filled with places with history.
Wow. So just now when we finished dinner, I saw this house because it looks really fancy inside. I asked Remy if this is someone's house, and then someone opened the door, and that's why we can get in.
So in every house you'll find this section where it's dedicated for the guests, you know? It's a little bit outside of the house, and then you have your friends here, you gather, you play cards, backgammon or anything. Yeah. It's called Madafa.
Madafa. So it's a special place to treat your guests.
Yeah, exactly. So if you invite your guests, you don't host them in the house because maybe sometimes the family members, they are not ready or so on. So you have always this section, the social section, let's say, and it's always ready, equipped with the bitter coffee, with the things that shisha and so on. Yeah.
It's like a small treasure house. So you can see so many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful furnitures. Oh, look at this. Those are all handmade. That's all handwork.
Originally an old style Arabic house, you know, old Damascus.
Yeah.
My grandfather, which is there in the picture,
Yeah.
turned it into a like.
What are those photos on?
This is my cousin,
Ah.
same age as mine. And this is actually my grandfather brother.
And is it a tradition that here in the house people put, family photos,
Yes.
family members' photo in the house?
Yes, because my grandfather used to live here before, and he used to take his visitor here as well.
Maybe this is the only madafa in the old city. There is no
There
other.
are so many in this area.
So many.
Yeah. You know this area called Shagoon?
Shagoon.
It's very famous with something called Za'ama. Za'ama كانت.
Za'ama, the leadership
Yeah,
of the neighborhood.
being leadership. So every single leadership has to have own one of these places for visitor, for his friend, for his family. And he used to solve problems here as well. So people who fight with each other used to come to places like this, and the leader fix it between them. Yeah,
So it's a peacemaking house,
exactly.
brings people
Yes.
together.
Yeah,
Kind of a court in
yeah.
the back.
And we
back in
also
the
do
days.
our parties here, for example.
Inside the souk, the atmosphere is alive. Some vendors carry golden kettles on their backs. Some carry large trays, delivering meals through the crowd. There are textiles, spices in every color, traditional Syrian soap, and stores filled with unfamiliar herbal remedies. Sweets and dried fruits are everywhere.
Do they have a name?
فواكه مجففة.
Wow. Say that again.
فواكه مجففة.
I can never pronounce that. So basically it's fruit that is
Let's say to save it, they add sugar or they put them in sugar.
the pear,
Pear, peach.
peach, eggplant, mandarin, and then the fruit of the cactus. So it's very juicy.
Funny, yeah.
It's like a small pack of honey.
Hidden within the souk is a historic ice cream shop, Bagdash, still crowded, and it has been for generations.
The ice cream here is kind of hard and sticky, and this gentleman is hit it with this a big hammer.
Good. How long do you do this a day?
12 hours. Wow.
Oh man, your arm must.
He has a muscle.
Mashallah. That's crazy, really. This thing is heavy. Actually, I think it's at least 5-6 kilos, I would say.
Yeah. Wow. It's busy. I think I go faster than the motorbike. The traffic is extremely jammed right now.
Khalid?
Ah, the gentleman told us that from here you can see the. Yeah.
This painting is very
How old? How many years?
300 years old.
300 years. Wow.
300 years.
From here you can see the paintings. We got a lentil soup, and this is a grilled eggplant with tahini, and then we got another hummus, salad, and this kube, pickled vegetables, and of course the shawarma. But this time the shawarma comes with a plate and some bread on top. If you walk within the city, you will find Damascus Old City has a very, very diverse religion. You will see churches next to the mosque, and you will see different churches, for example, Catholic, Orthodox, Armenia, and this is because in its long history, Damascus has long been a crossroad of civilizations and faiths. It was ruled by different empires, including the Aramaeans, the Romans, and then the Byzantines, the Umayyad, and then the Ottomans. So each empire brought their own religion and community, and all that was absorbed into the city's social fabric.
Much of the city's history is recorded in one of the oldest mosques in the city center, Umayyad Mosque. This site has over 3,000 years of history. It began at the Temple of Jupiter, then became the Church of St. John the Baptist during the Byzantine era, and later, with the arrival of Islam, was transformed into a mosque.
So when you walk through that mosque, you realize that there's still many elements from the church. For example, they have these 3 aisles. It was typical for basilics actually. And also the windows. You can see the clear elements. And now it's turned to a mosque, and apparently there is a group of people that comes 5 times a day for the call to prayer to perform the adhan inside the church, and they sing it out, which is pretty cool.
Yet, even today, the shrine of John the Baptist still stands inside. One of its minarets is known as the Minaret of Jesus. So this is not just a mosque. It is a place where Christian and Muslim traditions overlap and continue to coexist.
So today is Sunday, so that means there is the Mass in the morning. So you have all the Christians here around the church. Now we're gonna check out the inside.
If you spend a day in the old city, you begin to sense the weight of its history. It feels like a living museum where many traditional crafts are performed. Every craftsman has a small shop, some weave carpets, others make blades. In some courtyard, large looms are still in use, producing what is known as damask brocade, a shining pattern textile made with silk still from China, like centuries ago. But the most well-known craft here is perhaps wooden mosaic, an art that decorates almost every Syrian house.
Hello, sir. From China?
From China, yes.
Welcome in Syria.
Thanks.
And he's been doing this art mosaic since I think 50 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, around 50 years. So
50
how
years.
to do this art? Let me show you.
This is a workshop that when you enter you can feel how old it is, and here you can see all the materials the artisan used. Here is like a whole cupboard of different patterns that he created over the years. Everyone is a little bit different, and then he kind of glued all those different blocks together in order to get more complicated patterns.
They will cut it in 2 slices. For example, this would make 200 slices. And each one will be very thin. I will show you one. And then like 2 sides like the same. Will have the same design.
هي عمرها من 76 وقت كنت صغير.
From 70.
1970.
And you say when I was young, I did this.
It must be very challenging for the eyes as well,
Of course.
right? You have to see where put them together.
عم تقول قديش كان صعب على عيون لحتى الواحد يشوف هاي.
هلا بتشوف شغل هنيك.
Oh, the bed.
هذول
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
That's
like
the-
this they do the
Yeah,
slices on the machine.
هيك ولا؟
It's like cutting sausage.
Exactly. Here you can see the slices.
So this is like maybe 1 millimeter. Is that a chessboard? Ah, yes.
And inside it's backgammon.
Wow. Oh, it's even the inside. Wow, from the inside to the outside.
And bandita is this like a table? You turn it around.
Yeah.
So here you play chess. And it has like the place for all the pieces. And it's still not finished. And it's been 20 years. So how they do this? They don't do it like, for example, piece by piece. They do, for example, the legs. It might take months or maybe 1 year to finish all the legs. And he's saying it took me years to do it. But of course, like not to do it like continuously working on it. Like every time I will get the idea how I want to design it. So I will add something until I like reach the design that I want. But now you can see how different is it
هذا
with the mother
الصدف
of
اي غالي
pearl,
كثير
right?
هذيك.
Because this is the holes like they did.
So they leave it and then put shell.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So the wood is one thing and this comes after.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
هيك اسمه بدي اياها.
We're going to get one box because it's so lovely. Those colorful wood, sometimes only a few millimeters wide, are assembled slowly, piece by piece, forming intricate geometric patterns, then combined into larger designs and cut into layers and made into furniture. For the craftsman here, a single craft often becomes a lifelong pursuit. Within those intricate mosaics, a lifetime is quietly stored.
For the cookies, right?
For the cookies.
That's steeped with dates, maybe pistachio and walnut. So they put it here inside to take the shape, the same design.
Duang.
This for honey, and they steeped it with rice. It's inside. Sorry.
What is on her head?
Bread.
Ah, a bread. Wow. I love it how they carry the bread around. In another glass workshop, the furnace is running. The craftsman takes his time for breakfast. When he finishes, he makes himself a cup of tea and sits in front of the furnace. The glassware here is often blue or green, simple and traditional. And just a few steps away, you start to hear the ringing sound of a coppersmith at work.
So they used to save stuff from it. Nowadays it's more for decoration. You put it like this
Ah, you hang it on the wall.
for the design. But back then, like back then you feel people were more rich.
Yeah.
Have such things just for
For
the
food.
daily life.
Yeah. How long has he been doing like this?
50.
50. He's among the people who can do it without even this.
Ah.
Like even if you follow, he's not following the pattern.
Yeah.
The pattern just like to imagine what he wanna do.
Yeah.
But like it's from his heart, you know.
You see?
Wow. Yes, there's a lot of detail in it.
This is draw
Yeah.
different from this design.
Ah, I see. So it's just a draft, and when you
Yes.
do it,
I want to know the sizes
Yeah.
I draw, but I must be repair the draw when I design it.
so the design is just a reference.
Yes.
Yeah, I think when I reach his age, probably I won't see that well, but he can still work on this fine piece of art. It's just so incredible, incredible. Mashallah. Right now we are in Damascus International Airport. We are almost ready to board the plane to leave Syria. And before ending, we want to give you some very practical information if you are interested in visiting Syria. So the first thing is safety. So many people will ask if it's safe to visit Syria before visiting the country, because it has always been on the news.
I would say generally, yes, it's quite safe, but it depends what region you're traveling to. So most of the tourists, including us, we went to Damascus, Aleppo, we went to the coastal areas, Homs, and I would say this is really safe. However, if you want to travel on your own, there are some regions that at the moment are a little bit less stable, or where there are issues, for example, the Kurdish regions or the southern regions, which are not accessible even, some of them. So I would advise to go with a guide, because some villages even are not accessible, and as a foreigner you most certainly won't know about it, and they will know, so they can guide you through the areas where it's very safe.
And the second thing is visa. So if you are a free independent traveler and you want to explore Syria by yourself, I highly recommend that you go by land, crossing the border from either Lebanon or Jordan, because those are the most reliable route. And you don't need any paper, you can just get a visa once you cross a border. And I don't recommend you to cross the border from Iraq, because as far as I heard from some locals, there might be some safety issues, although many people do manage to cross the border from Iraq to Syria.
You can also fly into Syria, into Damascus or Aleppo, but for that you will go through a tour agency, because you need a little visa approval paper kind of thing that is only being issued by tour agencies. So the name of the agency will be marked on this paper. There were some cases apparently where people managed to enter Syria without this, but usually, including ourselves, you will get asked before boarding, otherwise they won't let you board the plane.
And since Syria has a different visa policy for people from different nationalities, and also this policy is constantly changing, I highly recommend you to check syriaguides.com for the most updated information. And the third most important thing is that remember to bring enough cash with you, ideally US dollars. Because of the sanction, you can never draw any money from the ATM here in Syria. And it's also impossible to book hotels in Syria through, for example, booking.com, those kind of websites. You need to write an email to the hotel and then pay them in cash at the reception. So same idea, you have to pay everything in cash in Syria, and people actually do accept dollars a lot. So remember to bring enough cash with you.
The last thing is the internet. So in Syria overall, internet is very slow, unfortunately. Still, I mean, at some point maybe it will change. And as a tourist, I advise you to get a tourist SIM card at the airport directly. It's quite expensive, so we paid $40 for 15 gigabytes data volume. But it's basically the only reliable internet connection you will have, because on hotels it's mostly very slow, and depending on what kind of hotel you will stay at, only the more expensive ones will offer you a 4G kind of internet router if you want to upload something. We had to upload one YouTube video and it was really a little bit painful. We did it all through our phones because it basically didn't work with the hotel Wi-Fi. So this is something to keep in mind. And also there's a little bit of internet restriction. I mean, not in Syria itself, but if you want to access your bank accounts, for example, your bank accounts abroad from within Syria, it's often not accepted because they say you're trying to access it from a high-risk country and you cannot do online payments, for example. All this kind of stuff is something you need to keep in mind.
Yeah, so you'll need a VPN if you want to access certain website, and it's also possible to get an eSIM card at the airport. You just need to pay another $15. Yeah, so that's it. If you want more information, you can check the website of SyriaGuides.com. They offer very practical and up-to-date info that will help you to travel in Syria. So that's all.
No, we still bought the flight. Because we will take Syrian Airlines to go to Istanbul. And as some of you might know, I'm a little bit into aviation, so I'm really excited about that. And there it is, the 26-year-old 737-500 from Syrian Air. I'm really excited flying with them. I don't know at all what it's gonna be like. I don't even know if there will be lunch or anything. But I'm really looking forward. The pilots are from Ukraine. I just met them over there. So pretty excited.
15F, left side
Thank you.
window seat.
It's a really old plane. Look at this. This plane is like a flying museum. It doesn't even have winglets. Look.
This is definitely the oldest aircraft I've ever flown with. How old is it?
28 years.
28 years. I've never seen a window like this. So, how do you like it?
I love it. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Okay, so we are going to end the video. We hope you enjoy this episode, that you enjoy Syria. Habibi, come to Syria. Thanks for watching and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.